welcome to Playing Favorites. Happy New Year. I'm
Yes,
Paul.
happy New Year. It's been a little bit. Been a little bit. I almost
Yes.
almost thought we got endangered there for a second.
Oh no, we're good. We needed a little break. We got it. And we're back at it. And today I wish we could say we're coming back with something that we really truly loved. And a piece of nostalgia that we could appreciate together and find some, common ground with. But unfortunately, today we're doing 1995's Congo,
That's why I said
based on a book by Michael Crayon.
it's called Congo. Yeah,
Yes.
that's why I said we're feeling we're endangered. We just watched this movie last night.
Yes. What was the tagline on the poster? So it had the
You're now
the
now
picture of
you're now
Amy
you're the
with a
endangered species. I have it right here. It
no,
says where you are the endangered species.
in
That
the Congo. It makes sense though, after their portrayal of what it's like to travel through Central African
like
countries.
yeah, but
It might as well, like, I guess, if all humanity is the
no.
endangered species because of, random explosions and, things catching on
We'll
fire.
definitely didn't get into it. But if you first time here, luckily this is not our first thing we're releasing after the new. This is the first thing we recorded after the new year. You should be
Yes.
already have seen our Akira episode that just came out. So that
Akira.
was actually a really fun one. Obviously, we love that
Super fun.
movie, but go check that out. We've been doing a lot of '90s movies though, because if that's your jam, oh man, we were just talking about it. Like all these '90 movies we've been doing, '95 just seems to be the place to be if you want to have
Right at the end of the year.
some quality '90 movies that are really bad.
Yeah, it's like right at the middle of the decade, it all climaxed with like the ultimate output of the
Which
90s.
is kind of weird to think about. If you think about that's like kind of where our entry into the movie theater, like on our own, like as
Yeah,
like
like what our experience with going to the movies
yeah,
was
well,
the
obviously we saw them as
um,
kids with our parents
mhm.
or something, or maybe a friend with our parents, but like never. That was where we kind of started going to the theaters, like as just people, not like with other with the guardian, if you would. But
Yeah, yeah.
time.
Independent fun times with
But
friends.
because the new year, some things to talk about. Obviously, we're playing favorites. We like to talk about movies. We'd like to pick up a topic. We've been doing some tier lists lately. You should go checking those out. Those are actually a fun time. They're only on our YouTube channel. You can find us in the description here. All of our different social medias. We're on Threads. I think TikTok is still around. We're there. But like, but we
We'll go
are.
down with the ship, I
Yeah, I
suppose.
guess we started using it, and then like, oh, I guess we'll see if it goes away. Who knows? That's not what this
Right.
podcast is about. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, check all those things out. And then obviously this year we have some plans for doing some charity work. We always do every year. We got to look into that. We did beat our goals for Extra Life last year, so we'll be doing some
Mhm.
volunteer work at a hospital. We're thinking May, but we'll let you know posted about that. But till then, we have to talk about this crappy
Yeah, we do. And we have
movie.
to acknowledge that, like, right from the get-go, this is
we
barely a movie.
we try
You
to
know,
find positive things about movies, and I'm usually the one that can do that better than most. But
I've got I do have like one or two positive things to say about the movie, but yes, yes, you're right. You're absolutely right, Justin. Like even you are broken a little bit by this. Like Congo really did not show up at all, man. Like it really let us down. Because
yeah,
I think that we were expecting it to be kind of like a hidden gem, maybe perhaps. Like something that had like a weird concept, but maybe like like depending on the limitations of technology at the time, maybe there is a good story there. There isn't.
yeah.
There's none of
Well,
that.
yeah,
There's
and
barely likable people in the movie.
I remember the movie not being great, but I was just hoping that maybe with adult perspective it would have been better, but it
Mhm.
got worse. Like, I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
I was
Far worse.
hoping like the same thing with the Anaconda, like how I was like sort of tentatively like, oh, I'm not gonna like this as much because I've aged and I've gotten older. But
Yep.
like, it actually almost made the movie better that I watched that movie now. Like, I liked it as a kid. I thought it was cool. It was fun. But like this
Mhm.
movie, like way worse. It was like the opposite direction from Anaconda. Like, it's just odd to me. Like, we were like going through this film, and I didn't know who this movie was for. Was it for like
Several times you remarked, Who is this for?
Like, what age demographic is it for? Obviously, it's like I,
Good
I,
question.
I don't know. Like I'm trying to think. It's rated. What was it rated? Was it rated? It had to have been rated R.
You
So
got to
like,
tell me. I think it had to be either R or PG-13. I remember there was like a to do about like it was like we couldn't see it even though it was like a Michael Crichton movie and
yeah, I
Jurassic
don't.
Park is already kind of like established and people were excited when they heard that name like oh it's based on one of his books.
I'm gonna look it up now to see what it was rated. But yeah, it just like there's just elements of the film that just like well, we jumped around like three movies in the very origin of it. Like it took us like a
Mhm.
half the movie to get it started. Like I don't
Yeah,
know. Go
really
for it.
three
Jump on it.
hour and 48 minutes. And it was funny because the only reason we were tracking was because we were not sure if we were going to be able to finish it
Yeah,
in one sitting because we started kind of late. So we were like, let's see how far we get. And it was you that were it was more like you were bitter about how little we saw of what we thought we were going to see. You know what the movie kind of promised,
sure.
uh, dealing with these apes.
Like it became like a game with me. Like I was checking it like every once in a while just to
Yeah, you
like.
were like we're 45 minutes in and nothing, and then it's an hour and 15, and then you're like,
But then like when you wait, and all of a sudden the delivery of everything in this movie is just like, all right, it's here. Like it's not like this like honestly the hippo attack was more like surprising than anything else in the film. Like it's
that was the only bit of drama, really. It was like because like you had this like silent danger up ahead, something bubbling in the water, and you're like, what could it possibly be? And your mind runs through like, what could it be? Like, it's not sharks. They're in like the Congo. Like, what could it be? Maybe a big snake. You had said like
yeah,
could
I
be
was
like
thinking
an
because
anaconda.
I just had anaconda on the brain for some reason.
And the fact that it was hippos was at once like surprising but also delightful. You're like, oh,
Well, it
hippos.
like it kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? Like it's like okay,
Yes.
hippos I've heard are like very
Very
vicious
brutal.
creatures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
like
territorial.
but then it's like I don't know why. It's just the way it was presented. Like it was so dark that I guess that makes them scarier. But like my brain wasn't. It's like I don't know. Like I feel like it didn't give the audience a lot of like preparation to think about things. It's like I'm thinking monkeys the entire movie, and it's just like hippo attack. Sure, okay. Like army of hippos. It was like five hippos.
Hmm. I'm going to give you an idea here. I'm going to pitch you a rebranding of the ad campaign for Congo 1995. Instead of focusing on the gray gorillas and that part of the movie, you should be focusing on it like this is like how like the journey to King Solomon's mine. It has all these dangers and like to get to this ultimate treasure, but there is some dark secret, and
Sure,
don't even and bring Amy along, do that whole thing, and then it becomes abundantly clear like you need her to like
that's the
find
book.
the
I read what happens in the book. Like I read it.
oh you did
Well, no, I
yes.
didn't read the book. I read the synopsis of the book. But like
Mhm.
it's like the synopsis makes more sense for what
Yes.
happens because guess what? The synopsis of the book, it's there. You don't have all this like uh it's like the whole like Amy like there is like a sign language thing with the Amy gorilla, but like it's not this like secret thing. Tim Curry's character doesn't exist in the book, by the way. He's not he was
Oh,
just completely made it for the movie.
aw,
He is not
he's
even
the
a
best
thing.
part.
But like the whole gist of it, it's more of an adventure in the movie. Like all the things kind of happen in the movie in the book from what I
Yeah.
didn't but it's more of a race like you have like all these corporations from different countries. They're all after these diamonds, so they're trying to race
Oh,
to King Solomon's mine, and then they stumble upon like mutated apes. Like they weren't like bred
yeah.
that way; they were actually mutated and like genetically changed. So like it, you read the synopsis, it does the movie follows it sort of, but you lose that element of the race, and I feel like that reduces the drama. Where it's like I feel like the race element could have been way better of a thing. Like, we have to get there quick before the other people do. We're here. It's just like, we got to try to get
Well,
there and bring Amy home. Like, that wasn't even a thing, from my understanding. In the book.
yeah, and that was just like a way to piggyback what the corporation needed to do there, that telecom corporation that needs the diamonds for its lasers. Uh,
Money making machine.
yeah, but let's talk about that. Like Joe Don Baker's character and Laura Linney and Bruce Campbell. Like that, I guess was supposed to be like the main story.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is or not because
No.
Joe Don Baker has two speeds in this movie. It is talking very nice and slowly and yelling loudly and very angrily. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And he oscillates between those two at random, seemingly at random. Because he'll
Mhm.
say, she'll say like, he answered her when Laura Linney finally called him and said like, I just let you know, like Charles is dead, and he's like, "Are the stones there?"
Oh, he
"Are
yells
they
like a
there?"
crazy
Like,
person. But like
yes.
we were saying when we first met these characters in the beginning, how it's like it's like, what does she say? She's like, if there's any signs of like you not caring about your son, which is
Mhm.
which is
What a weird
her
condition to
her ex
go to Central Africa on.
her ex-husband. Like, we get so much like backstory in like such a quick moment of time. It's like, oh no, what happened to the camp? It's like, I know you had feelings for him. Like, well, I did almost marry him. And I was like, well, you are good in the field. You went to Panama one day. And it's like
You took care of the Panama thing.
like
Yeah.
and supposedly she's in the CIA. Like, I don't like it's
Can I, can I just? I have to say I wrote this down. It's Laura Linney. Laura Linney is not an action star. I love her in the Truman Show. In other things I've seen her, I love her as the voice of what is it, PBS, when she goes, "I'm Laura Linney, and this is Masterpiece Theater." She
oh, okay, I didn't
introduces
know that those
a
things.
show on PBS. I love her in all those things. This is not for her. Like she
Yeah,
shouldn't
like
be doing
she
this
didn't
kind
look she didn't fit the part at all. Like, I feel
of
like she didn't belong there. Like, her ability to travel the jungle and like the jarring personality shifts she would have, it drove me nuts. It's like,
oh
who
yeah.
I was like I was like, you're okay, so you're a caring person. We thought she was the good guy initially. Then she becomes the ugly woman bad guy. Ugly woman.
That's when she starts to snarl a little bit in some
Yeah,
scenes.
and like she got super snarky and like very pushy and then she became like the flirty, like, I'm getting aroused by
That dweeb.
but I don't know. Like, and then she became like super like technical science person. Like, she fit like
Yes, she put her headset on and became a hacker. Do you remember that
I
part?
know.
She sat and did
With
wax
like the technology of like I honestly, the only technology I was impressed by in this film were the little small air conditioner boxes. I want one of those things.
yeah, from your tent. She's like, I brought air conditioners, and you were like, is that even a thing? I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm like, yeah, we wish we had those. That is the best piece of technology in the movie. All of their display screens suck, by the way. Whatever operating system they're using, they've got all the widgets activated at once. So
Sure,
it's like the
yeah,
weather, road
man.
conditions, humidity,
They back
what's
then
the
you need a
spot.
lot of RAM to run that stuff. I'm sorry, like you need some processing power.
And it's all just like black screen. I mean, like, thankfully it's easier on the eyes, but like even
Dark
their
mode.
display screens for 1995 looked like shit. Like Joe Don Baker, when he gets angry at the beginning and he uses the golf club to hit, it's just the regular TV in the wall. And it's
Sure.
like, hey, you broke the TV in the wall. Like, that's not easy to replace. That's not just some little thin screen. There's a whole TV,
Yeah,
like boxy CRT TV back there.
but like, yeah,
Ugh.
like yeah. So like, I guess like I think that's about the movie that's weird is you had like what, five story elements. Like, so you got the expedition to go back to the
Yeah,
Congo.
Laura
But
Linney's
she has to
plot.
infiltrate another exposition for some reason. I don't understand that
So
part.
okay. This is yeah, because this is what confused me about it as a kid. Like, why were they with the monkey people? Why were they with Amy and the crew? Right. So their original expedition, they needed to get her there as quickly as possible, and the only people going anywhere near that was this like group was Herkimer Hamoka and well not him, but specifically the Amy and the two scientists. They had
Oh, so they
decided
just were
they're
trying to
going
save
to.
time, so they found a different plane in a sense. So instead of getting chartering their own plane, they just found it.
Yes, they
So
found they were just going to piggyback. She just wanted to come along and pay for the ride and pay for the fuel, and just so that she could take the ride
but
with.
it's just for her though, right? Like no one else came in her party until she got there because she's by herself.
Yeah, but it seems like I love how we're figuring out the movie now. Like,
And I'm
but
usually
it
pretty
seems
good
like
at figuring out plot
no,
points, but
no.
I can't.
What's his name? Joe Don Baker sent her like a certain amount, like a material. Remember all the resources, and he hired Monroe. What's his name there?
Or
Ernie Hudson.
yeah, I can't remember his actor's name. Okay, I just know him as is it
It's
Ernie?
Ernie Hudson.
No, I always think that that's his name in the Ghostbuster movie. Is Ernie?
Is it as well? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Maybe
I
it's
thought his
not.
name was Ernie Hudson. Anyways, but that actor
Oh,
who
it's
plays
Winston.
Monroe,
Winston in the.
Winston in the movie. Yep. Okay. So, yeah, Joe Don Baker, the company, whatever, hires Monroe and Joe Pantoliano, who's in this movie for like 5 minutes total.
He gets two scenes
As
at
like,
least.
yeah, and he's like the airport liaison, I guess. Like he's the one who gets them the supplies.
I just
Monroe is the guide, and then Joey Pants is the one who brings the supplies
why when
for,
aim okay, so my confusion,
for Laura Linney.
I understand all the extra things. It's like I still don't know why they needed to like attach themselves to this Amy person, the Amy monkey. And
With
what
all this money and all these resources, couldn't they have just flown her from like their own private jet or helicopter? You're right. Like this company has all this money. Why don't they just like they have to get on a plane with somebody else to get to the Congo?
yeah,
I don't know. It seems like
I didn't quite understand the whole I mean, but the funny thing is, we were saying the whole time the only person we cared about or character we cared about was Amy. Like we only cared about Amy this entire movie,
Mhm.
but I still don't know why she had to be affiliated with this other group of people. I just don't understand. Like
It seems like
I
they're
never
all
even.
going to the same place, and that place is super remote, so they're all kind of going together. That's Herkimer Hamoka's angle to get the
Well,
diamonds
I bet that
or
because he
find the
wants to.
lost city.
Tim
Do you
Curry's.
remember the super lost city? You remember how lost it is? How
Yes,
hard
it
it is
was
to
very
find?
lost. Yes, but I we'll get yeah we'll talk about that. But what I want to say is Tim Curry makes sense. I guess my only confusion is why Laura Linney's character, I don't remember her name, Dr. Ross, I think.
Yeah.
Like why she's so attached to Amy and Richard and Peter Elliott, like Dr. Peter Elliott, like those characters. Like she is so, and then Dr. Monroe seems like they're all like they could easily just said, screw you guys, we're just gonna go do our own thing now that we got here. Like why
Yeah.
they're so willing to help this monkey out for some reason, like, but
I
they all
think
seem a
she's
bunch of bad guys.
yeah, I feel like maybe they're trying to show like Laura Linney's character, I guess. That's the thing. It's like she doesn't change throughout this movie at all.
No,
She
she
says
only
she's going to do something at the beginning and then she does it at the end. That's it.
she only cares about Charles the entire movie, and
So I feel like maybe they were trying to do an angle with like Amy kind of having an effect on her and her wanting to help and make sure that she gets, home safely. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to that angle like Laura Linney's character would like grew a heart that day. You could play that if you have an actress who is in that at the very beginning a very like cold and callous kind of person and very like almost like militant in their mindset, and then that veneer starts to crack
sure.
because of her interactions with Amy, and then she decides to to help her, along the way instead of just focusing on their telecommunications mission for diamonds. Like, what's funny to me is hearing what you had sent me earlier, just like that screenshot that when they pitched the movie, they pitched this back, like Michael Crichton pitched this to the studios back successfully in 1979.
Yeah, yeah,
So they've successfully, meaning they bought the script or like they bought the property, and they sat on it for,
yeah. And then he wasn't credited for this
I
movie at
guess.
all. Like he wasn't on the screenplay or involved in making this film. Like
Hmm.
his name was stamped on it based on his book that
Yeah,
she
he
wrote
sold he
a
sold the
while ago.
rights to it.
Yeah, like because like the book takes place in 1979, from my
Yep.
understanding. Um, like Amy does do sign language, but it's more like it's not this like wearing technologically gloved to talk Amy.
Yeah,
Like
they modernized everything then,
if
right?
you're so I have my Congo facts here. Like um,
Please, please.
I did have it. Where'd they go? There.
But
Right
you're absolutely right. That was another thing I'd written down. The movie should be Amy's movie. If you're going to do a movie like this,
Well, she
with
has
focus on the technology, it should be her movie.
yeah, they kind of do that where she kind of saves them at the end. Like that is a big part of the book,
Yeah.
but it's so much better like written, like at least in the synopsis too. Like she learns the silverbacks or the silver monkeys language because she knows sign language. So she's able to
Mhm.
communicate with them to like to almost like have them not attack. Like they almost like she stops them from attacking by communicating
Oh,
more of a diplomatic way. The volcano
because,
still happens and all that, but the volcano happens because of freaking Dr. Ross. She puts on these like explosive charges around the camp area and it makes the
oh,
volcano erupt. Like so she's the reason this happens. It's not like
so the real like urgency is the race you're saying first, but then
yes.
the volcano is a thing that triggers at the end. So I can see where they kind of like cut. They're like, well, why don't we just make it the volcano
Yeah.
is going to erupt
Yep.
instead of getting all these other extras and all these other people involved.
Hmm.
I see, but it definitely takes away from the movie, like shifting it to that. Because then, I mean, even Amy in the end, like what you're saying, in the end of this movie, she takes off the technology and gives up all the like everything she's learned basically to go live with the silverbacks.
Yeah. I mean that yeah, like I kind of want to read the book now. I don't know when I would do it, but I kind of really want to see like how this because
It'd
it
be
seems like
interesting
it
to
because
see
we were
that.
saying like even before we start recording, it's like this has all the ingredients. Like the cast isn't bad. Like all I was surprised by all the different cast members. Like
Yeah, a lot of good cameos.
but I think there is a good movie here. It's just I was so disappointed with like okay or at least market it differently. Maybe not market it with monkeys, like because I mean that's not what you're selling
Exactly.
on. You know,
Yeah, hide
it's
that factor.
it was meant to be. What was his like his reasoning for it? Like his I had it really quick here. So like
I mean, it it's an interesting idea if you're thinking about it from like the Congo, because it's called Congo. It's not called, crazy, insane apes that attack. It's Congo. It should be about like this is the most dangerous place on earth.
yeah
How will these people deal with infiltrating? Like it's like a Heart of Darkness, kind of movie, or like the dark continent idea, that trope of like, you're penetrating where human beings aren't, they can't even live,
yeah
or it's like
because Michael Crichton wanted it to be like just sort of like your typical like adventure in the jungle type thing. Like it wasn't meant to be like this big.
Indiana Jones.
He actually wrote I think I showed you this like the character Monroe. So Ernie, uh,
Yeah.
Winston from Ghostbusters. It's funny because he makes a comment or a thing. It's like he's like I'm the great white hunter, but I'm black. Like he does that in the movie. So like
Oh yes, he does.
he was writing that character for is specifically for Sean Connery. Like that was
Yeah.
meant to be for
Yeah.
him, which I could see in that role perfectly because
Very much.
credit to Ernie, like he plays Sean Connery pretty well. Like
Hmm.
it's like
He does. He is kind of doing a Sean Connery impression a little bit, but it's still his own, and it's
sure,
good. I want to also mention, it's funny because that section you're talking about there, it said like they had originally wanted Sean Connery to portray it like in the style of Alan Quartermain, the like adventure series, which is who Sean Connery would play eventually in the
Yes,
League of
yes,
Extraordinary Gentlemen.
they mentioned
He
that, yeah.
would be Alan Quartermain.
But
He
they
wouldn't settle for an Alan Quartermain type. He would settle for actually being him.
so obviously they were feeding off like the monster movie frenzy that we had of the mid '90s. I mean, we had a lot of Jurassic Park and Anaconda.
Yep.
Kept going with this director Frank Marshall. He made Arachnophobia, which is like a, I mean,
There you go.
you can call it. I guess it's a monster movie. I don't, but like
Yeah, it's a creepy
creepy.
bug
But
or
the
arachnid.
marketing worked. It did okay, like at the box office. It didn't
Oh,
flop.
yeah. It took us all for fools.
But I mean, I was just trying to think. Like,
I've got a positive thing to say about the
oh,
movie.
you do?
Here,
Okay, go
before
for
I
it.
exhaust all of my things, I just apes were all cool. Even if they were a bit weird, they were all pretty cool. The costume, like the design of their suits, Amy, all of that, really cool what they could do. In the like the kind of, I guess it's like animatronics.
No, they're just people. There's costumes. I read
Well,
about
I
it.
mean, like there's people in costumes, but like the facial expression.
Oh, sure,
Wow.
sure. I guess that's like a
Like
puppet thing. I
it's
know.
it's it's cool technology, and you can tell like a lot of money was put into this,
Sure.
and that's when you start to get to twist this into a negative thing and say like, what a waste of money.
Yeah.
And
Well, that
now
was
all
I
the
guess the reason that it never went through in the '80s was Michael Crichton wanted to direct it. He wanted to be
oh
the director. He wanted to use real apes.
oh god.
I know. Like he wouldn't do it because he couldn't use real apes. And I'm just
Dude.
like, but like I think it was more specific for like using a real ape for Amy specifically. I don't think it was like all like the action because like
I want to get a ton of apes, and I'm gonna run
but
the
like
camera and I'll
because
play action.
yeah because but yeah think about it, the original plot from my understanding, I don't think you had this mass murder of apes at the end or like this vicious like I don't
Oh
know I
god.
yeah, that was
Yes.
like vicious, like the lasers chopping them in half and like
All of our like the dweeb character who's the sensitive guy is using an Uzi on apes, blowing apes up.
yeah
At the end of the movie,
yeah
they are lighting them up Doom style, which Amy is playing at the very beginning of the
yes
movie.
she is.
The gorilla is. So that's foreshadowing, I believe, because
Sure.
the ending is freaking gory as hell.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, apes are just being like lasered in half.
In like
It's
in a
rough.
set in that set too, like where they're it's like okay, we were kind of jumping around. We didn't really the plot of the movie, just so you know,
Who
is just
cares?
yeah, who cares?
What's the point?
There were so many
What,
random things that happened like in the middle of the movie too. It was just like scene after scene after scene after scene that just we were
this is
repeating
why
scenes.
I feel like this is barely a movie. This barely constitutes a movie because there isn't a real like progression of story. Like this is
Yeah.
just images and sounds,
Yep.
just scene after scene. Like you're saying, just a series of ideas
A lot of
put together.
walking, a lot of just I don't know what. But anyway,
Why in some why in some action sequences is there this weird slow-mo?
yeah, that
You
was
know?
weird.
Like,
We first saw the monkey, right? We first saw the evil, the gorilla that attack.
yes.
But yeah, like
How to ruin our expectations. You remember how like they appeared out of nowhere at the like their first appearance, like when they're in the shrine area or wherever, and then you
yeah,
just see one
yeah.
kind of like walking.
I was like
That
stage
was
right. It just sort of appeared out of
yes, and it was like oh, like it's just gonna happen. Like that was kind of
just like
cool.
the secret city of Zinj. Like it just it's like oh, we just had to take a right here and we found the secret city of Zinj because the
It,
Hershey bar was
it
still
didn't help.
there. Like
It
how
didn't help that Monroe said like Herkimer Homoka has been looking for it his whole life. And it's like, really? Like, dude, it was like, it
yeah,
was right there, just there.
but
It
like
was like over one more sandbar.
how does a Hershey wrapper stay there that long? I mean, like literally, like it was in the same spot. It's like it didn't move. it was literally in the same. It's like they almost did that scene right after they did the scene with Bruce Campbell. Like they just like, all right, Bruce, you're out. Like let's bring everyone else in.
Oh,
Leave the
I
Hershey wrapper
guarantee
there.
you. No,
Literally,
no, no. They're like, Bruce, you lay down and be dead, and we're just gonna keep working. He's like, all right, it's a living, because they do find him, and you get to see dead Bruce Campbell
yeah,
at the end.
which it was weird because like it made me just think of Evil Dead. Like that's all I could think about when I saw. But it's like that whole
He's dressed like Ash too. He's got the blue shirt and white tannish kind of pants. He's got
sure,
like a little bit of
yeah,
Ash from the
yeah, because he has
original.
the button down. He's more of a greenish shirt, not a bluish one.
Oh, that's true. It is
Um,
kind of, but it's
but
an Ash uniform.
but like that whole last scene, it was just like they kind of find the mine, I guess, or the entry to the mine, or something. But the apes are living there. That scene sounds so drastically different of a set than the rest of the movie. Like it didn't look like it didn't look like it fit. Like it didn't.
It,
You know what I mean? Like
it looked like a Universal Studios, like they're about to do a performance here.
sure.
This
Oh yeah,
area.
like the Indiana Jones performance thing. Like where you like
Yeah,
I've been on
like
there.
stuff's gonna happen. Like
I was one of the crowd people that they bring on that set. Like I was in there. I was in the on the
oh
stage.
really?
Yeah, me and Amber got into that once. It was fun.
Yeah, it kind of looked like that. That last kind of, is
Oh
that what you're referring
yeah,
to? That like,
it's like
where the
the
climax
the
is.
small pool of water and like
Mhm,
the steam
mhm.
going up. Like it just
It really felt like you're gonna have like putties come out from behind the pillars, and they're gonna start fighting.
hey Putty's making another episode reference. Jeez, man, we got to watch Power Rangers next. I guess
I know,
let's
I
watch
know.
the Power Ranger movie. Let's do it.
Because that's really what the Phantom is. If you look at it from behind, he's just a putty. If you don't know what we're talking about, go listen to our episode. Watch our episode on the Phantom. We're not going to
Bring
talk
up the
anymore
fan.
about.
No, but I was like, I said this in Congo. The Phantom is a better movie than this. Like this is like the
Sadly,
Phantom's
yeah.
not good. The Phantom's not good. But like at least the
It's
Phantom
supposed
had
to
like some
be.
fun moments. It was silly. Like I liked some of the characters in the Phantom. We cared about no one in this movie. Like we absolutely cared about no one except for Amy. But like
No one's fun
yeah,
either. Like no one is the honestly the best. I mean, okay, who do we have? We have the two dweebs. Dweeb one is the guy from Nip Tuck, who's been in other things.
yep.
Sean. And then the other guy was the frantic dude. Was like he was the
He was a
terrorist
terrorist in True Lies, I guess.
in True Lies. That's it. You got Joe Don Baker, who's Mitchell. We had Mitchell, or he's in other stuff
Yeah,
too.
no one
But
knows. No one knows what Mitchell except for you and me.
oh, Bruce Campbell, of
No,
course.
Joe Don Baker is the good guy and bad guy from the Bond movie. That's what I know.
That's yeah, that's right. Oh, by the way, we'll talk about one. It's not really a positive thing, I guess, but it was a scene I really loved, and my favorite thing about it was just seeing your reaction to it. Was the flare scene
Oh my
when
god!
they're being chased when they're in the plane and they got the surface to air missiles like on like I don't know like rocket propelled on their shoulder and they're shooting at the plane from the ground.
The
And
heat-seeking missile, I guess. Is that what it
I
is?
guess and Laura Linney's character is like, I got this. Her with her like she looks like she's still in the Truman Show, like with her nice blonde hair and her brand new, like Congo uniform, kicks open the door, opens the airplane, and shoots the flares, and then the missiles hit the flares. Like, you know, just a thing she does. She's amazing. It was so great watching your reaction. You're like, wait, what?
I know.
This is
I'm like,
ridiculous.
I'm like,
That's a bridge too far for you. It was still so early in the movie too.
I'm like, I mean, I was more just coming down from the fact that we were like, we've gotten to the Congo and there's just so much chaos going on. It's like car bombs happening. They're being arrested. They're being
A
contained.
coup is
They're
happening.
eating
Yeah.
some cake, and then they're going on another plane.
we'd be remiss to not mention the best part of the movie,
Well,
which is
and I have a
Delroy
question
Lindo.
about that too, really quick. But go ahead. Go ahead, bring it up.
But yes, so a friend of the show, friend of ours, Joe, loves that scene with Delroy Lindo there telling Herkimer Hamoka to stop eating his sesame cake.
He
And he
offered him
keeps
the cake. I
calling
don't know
out
why he said this.
Agnes. Yes.
It's like it was
He's like, right.
so random. But why do they get to go to the fancy hotel? Those three. But then
Mhm.
the other two are just like in this like detainment cell or something.
They literally put him in a cage.
I don't even know where Amy is during this thing. I couldn't remember. Like where is she?
So again, if you're doing this movie as like a Heart of Darkness style thing, Delroy Lindo and his compound should be like the halfway point of the movie, right? You make it to this, it's dangerous, you're captured and brought before this like warlord type character. But in this, it sounds like he's meeting people in the lobby of the Four Seasons or something. You know, it just feels like you're in a hotel room and he's like, "Hello, have some cake. What are you doing in my country? Okay, you may leave."
Or at
Like
least
at
start
the
the
end
movie,
of it, it's just
or
like, well, what's the point of that?
start the movie there, and like have us start going into the jungle. Don't give us any backstory on anything. Like just like
Ooh,
here's your
in media
characters.
res.
Here's your characters. We got to get to this thing because we got these. Like obviously, if you follow the the
So
book,
we get the backstory as we go
yeah,
in media
yeah,
res,
like get
right?
us in the jungle. I want to watch a jungle thing. We spent so much time going to the meatballs camp, and then we went to like a lecture, and then we went.
Wait, you gotta, you can't just throw that out there. Explain what the meatballs camp was. It did look like the movie turned into meatballs for a minute.
So when we get introduced to what Peter Elliott, and it's the scene where she's playing Doom, right? So
Mhm.
like
It's the opening scene, really.
we get it's like kind of the opening scene. I mean, like we go from
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
we go from I don't remember how we get there. It's like we go from because he goes from like learning about the new expedition that's happening to the
Yep, Bruce
cutting to
Campbell's
like the
started on
paintings that she's painting and Doom
it. Mhm.
and just like you got Richard and Peter Elliott, the two guys that know how to teach virtual reality sign language or whatever and making animals talk. And it's like this cabin, and like they literally look like they're out of the movie Meatballs. That's all it is. 'Cause they have the curly hair and like
They live
they
at
look
summer camp.
they look like camp counselors, and they just happen to have a gorilla as one of their cabin mates. Like it just
They're both curly haired, tank top wearing dweebs.
yes.
Like just and both and he's like, I'm Dr. Peter.
And then it cuts to him
Private
like doing a
eye.
lecture with like a suit and tie that looked like completely awkward on him. Like it didn't fit like at all. Like I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like man, it was
It's
just
weird. Just weird.
a lot of jumping
Like
around, a lot of like just odd things. You got what's his name, Tim Curry in the audience, like with a book that he's like gonna open that has a secret compartment that has a ring in it. Like why? Like
the Eye of Sauron,
like
you mean? Yeah.
like what? Where did
Yeah,
he
this little ring.
like give us information? Where did he find this thing? Like where did he get it from? I'd like to know more. Like
Well, he does explain it. Remember in his exposition scene when they finally say, like, when he's like,
I wouldn't
"Okay,
know.
I'll tell you
I
who I
couldn't
am."
understand half the things he said, to be quite honest.
You don't. What's wrong with his Romanian accent? If you need to do a Romanian accent, you just have to literally pretend like you're choking to get that sound. But no, he said like that he was going to. He found the book. Like it doesn't even sound like he just like found this stuff. Like it does. There's nothing like remarkable about it.
Yeah,
Like he found it,
no.
and he's just been trying to find the lost city since he's located this stuff. I don't. His motivation. He, honestly, because his this character is like made up. There's a lot of like feels like Lord of the Rings references in here. He's got this little Eye of Sauron, the mountain, like the volcano's erupting. The whole place is gonna be destroyed. At the end, it is Mount Doom and Frodo.
Yeah,
We have the
it looked
shot
like
at
it.
the very
It
end.
looked. Oh, we didn't. Oh, the last thing I want to bring up. Okay, last thing because I'm almost done talking about this.
I don't have
It's
anything else to
just
say about this.
well, it's just like the lava scenes. It looks so weird. Like it was so. It's like we made it like it's like oh they just the lava decided to do this the day they got there. It was waiting
Yeah,
for them. I
yeah,
guess like
that
and
was the day.
it was like and it just like man it just destroys everything. It's like they're jumping around. They're jumping over lava pits and I almost thought that Aladdin was gonna fly out at one point, like the Cave of Wonders. Like,
There might as well have been a genie in a magic carpet. Their plot armor is so thick, like
yes, I
nobody
sure,
gets hurt.
yeah.
Nobody even stumbles in this movie.
He called out the first monkey death too. We're like, oh, Richard, poor Richard. Like he
Oh
just,
yeah. Boy, what a death that was too. And was that when they're like someone brings him he like picks up like an eyeball? How did he get the eyeball?
oh
Or
no,
like
that was the
something
beginning. That was Bruce Willis. That was Bruce Campbell right in the beginning.
Oh, the eyeball thing was in the very beginning.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
how did
so Richard, honestly, get to his credit, he escapes the ape
Oh
and
yeah, he makes it and then
and
dies of fright.
he runs, but then he dies. Like and then the monkey just throws a head at them, like from the other guy that's out
Yeah,
there.
just another dude's head.
And then that's when we get the weird slow mo scene. It the whole thing is just I don't know. It was so
That
disappointing.
feels to me like it was originally supposed to be that actor's head, and he demanded like, no, at least give me a proper death. Let me die on screen.
God.
He's like, what do you die? And like, I'll just die of my wounds. Because he just runs to me. He's like, help, help, dad.
Tim Curry, I appreciate his death. Like that was okay. I was good with I was all for
The apes like to do they've got a patented like head smash move that they all like kind of
that.
like run around and
Yeah.
ow. It's like their signature, like they're calling the audience, and the audience is like, yeah, calling for the finisher.
I'd be curious how this movie could if they remade this movie, let's just say, using maybe a better plot from the book. Imagine using the Planet of the Apes like modern technology, like for the modern day movie.
Yeah,
I could see that being
yeah.
a little better looking.
Then you don't need to have robot hand Amy. Then you can just kind
You're
of.
not supposed to
That's
anyway.
what
It's
they
supposed to
did.
be
That's what they did in the very first remake. Was it Rise of the Planet of the Apes or
yeah.
Dawn of the Planet of the whatever it was with James Franco? That one.
Yeah, but they're remaking Caesar, I think, because that was like the creation of Caesar.
But anyway, like in that movie, he does know some sign language.
Yes,
And
you're
it's
right.
like
You're
you
right.
would just do it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, like they've done it. Like
yeah. They don't. You don't
it's
need like the glove of whatever.
honestly, even though Amy's a cool kind of character, you don't need her at all. You don't need monkeys at all in this movie. Sorry, you don't need apes at all in this movie.
Well, I
It,
mean,
it, it could
yeah,
just
you
be
don't need it, but like the book
get
makes it.
into the Congo.
The book has a better like payoff for that, I guess.
Sure.
But it's not like I think like the book, the apes are more of a oh we because like you kind of know there's an ape thing in the beginning by reading it. It's like oh the camp was attacked. Looks like an ape, a gray ape attacked them. That's all you know.
Yeah.
But then it's not really about that till you find to the end of the book based on again I didn't read it so I mean I think you could still make the monkey a thing or the gorilla a thing. It just needs to have a better like lead up, build up. You have to have more
Good
danger.
movie.
You have to have more danger from the jungle. I think on the way, the only thing that
Yeah.
attacked them was the hippos. I mean, like that. The only everything else is just like rockets that are easily deflected because you have CIA agent Laura Linney. Like,
Well, look, you're right. You should be doing. It should be like a series of trials that get
yeah,
you. And
just
whether you start with Delroy Lindo, I still think he should be like in the middle of the movie. Like you
it
get
could
through
work that way
some, you
too. It
get
could work that way
captured,
too.
and then you escape, and then one more or two trials,
Like
and then the
they didn't even
final.
escape for him. He just like okay, you guys are go. Gave me money.
Yeah, really, he might as well just stamp their passports for them. I even love the scene when Joe Pantoliano. Like, there's a lot of people in the movie that are just like,
Yep.
I'm here to get you to the next scene.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
here to get you. Like, people will ask, how did you get in the country with no passports?
But
Well, here I come, and
here's
I
the
got
thing:
my stamp.
they try to show trials, like you know what I mean, like. But then they're so stupid. Like I'm thinking, like the only thing, like what was the struggle they had when they got to the struggle? It's like because like what's his name Monroe's like this is the most dangerous area. You better not go by yourself. I think the
Yep.
only issue they had was like trying to put a tent up in a mud puddle. I don't.
Well, that was the most idiotic thing I think I've ever seen in my life. They have these amazing tents that you just open, the pop-up tents, and you just set them down. Where are they trying to set them down? On a freaking rushing river of water. They're like, and it's like, oh no, my tent is being washed away. Well, like, no shit. What'd you think was gonna happen? What?
You're-
They were like boats. Like, what the fuck were they thinking? It's the stupidest. Yeah, their trials are a series of like really bad B-roll
or like
highlights.
the trial is like, oh no, Amy knocked over my satellite. Like you know, it's like
Oh, my erector satellite. I love, yeah, I
uh,
really love that.
and
She
then
spent all night putting that together.
finally at the end, because I know you said you kind of like weren't paying attention as much at the end because you kind of were you're done by that point. But
Oh
like
yeah,
she finds the laser thing because I
yeah,
guess I'm confused on how does she have that? I guess she had that in her bag, but she puts the diamond in the laser and blows everyone
yeah,
and kills all the apes. Okay, whatever. But she still
yeah.
has it. So then she kind of delivers the message finally when she gets out and they find a hot air balloon, like and
Okay, don't get to the hot air balloon just yet. But
but
yeah,
she has
when
to
she gets
call what's his
down,
name. She's like,
she
"Oh,
calls Jordan
I
Baker.
told you I would
Yeah,
make you pay if you didn't care about Charles." And it's like, I'm gonna, and then she blows up his satellite in space.
yeah. Could you remind me? Did she aim for the satellite freehand, or does
Oh,
she put it on?
she
Put
used
it
like
on
some
a
a
computer?
phone that the coordinates are in a phone or something like that.
Yes.
Like she was able to like pinpoint it.
She just looked down the scope, like, "Ah, I think I got that satellite."
Wait, man, and then I'm forgetting about the rave battle thing where it's just like automatic turrets just attacking apes, and it was just like lasers and
The
just like,
laser grid that popped up. Yes.
oh my god, like there's just so many moments in this movie. I'm just like, why? Like,
That was all the equipment they sent her with. Like, yes. Um,
oh man, it was just like, and then
I didn't
yeah,
even know you could request such things.
the
I'm
hot air
gonna
balloon is
use a
actually in the book, so
laser grid.
that's book accurate. Just so you know, they do find a hot air balloon.
But look, I'm asking you, if you can afford to make a laser grid defense system, can't you afford a plane? Can't you just fly Laura Linney yourself? Why do you need to go with
I don't
these
know.
people
Well, you have
thinking
to.
of ape?
Maybe you
It's
need.
really the dumbest premise.
Yeah, it's well maybe he can't afford it because he has 40,000 employees. He has to pay take support.
Well, you were like Joe Don Baker looks after his employees. Sure, I might have
I
to
just
sacrifice my son,
I never seen
my
like
daughter-in-law.
your typical like capitalist like CEO evil villain dude say like I need my money making machine because I have 40,000 employees to take care of. Like it's like I'm like what?
I know at the first time we are like, well, good. He doesn't lay them off in recession. He keeps them on. He really looks after his company.
It's mid 90s. The economy was fine.
Burn the stones! It's keeping him up at night. It's like after the first scene with him, we get it. He doesn't like Bruce Campbell. He doesn't like his son Charlie. We get it. We don't need to be reminded of it every time. And Laura Linney, if you haven't figured it out, we figured it out as the movie watchers in 15 seconds. You don't have to go to the Congo to try to prove to him, like, if you don't act like you care about your son, I'm gonna make you sorry.
Hmm.
Like, you don't have to do that. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know who this movie was for. I don't know why they thought that taking the story in this direction was a good idea. But yeah, there's a point in the movie where it's like all this money's being spent on the location, being in the jungle, setting part of the jungle on fire, the explosions, the airport explosions. How many cars were destroyed? Like there are like how much money and time just on pyrotechnics do you spend on this movie. All the like laser effects.
I don't
Or
think they
what's it?
spent as much as you think though, because I think they filmed this in. I looked at they filmed this in California. Like it was all in California. Like they didn't
Just
go
on
to.
set.
Yep.
Just on sets.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Just,
but I do not recommend this movie to anybody. Like, please
yeah, don't
don't watch
bother.
this. Go watch Anaconda like 5 times before watching this. Like seriously,
No, just watch that one once. No, that's also just
that's
once.
the only Amazon jungle movie you need to see from the '90s that I've seen is
If you
Anaconda.
want, if you want to get a head start on us, watch Lake Placid and tell
Yes,
us.
we got to get there. We
how
got to
it
get there.
compares.
We got to get there.
But until that time, until we talk about something like that, let's hope we talk about a better next
Yes.
time, Justin. This was really.
Yep.
I feel like we've had a couple here that have just really tested our patience. But Akira was a nice palate cleanser. So, but until next time, as always, this has been Playing Favorites. I'm Paul.
I'm just like, subscribe. Go like and subscribe, comment, please. Go like and subscribe, comment. We have not said that at all this video, but I am Justin.
Please.
I just want to remind everyone, like and subscribe.
Subscribe.
We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. Come on, help us out this year.
Come on, we're almost there. be one of those people that helps put us over.
Yep.
Thank you. Well, until next time, then we'll see you, and thanks for watching.
Bye.